What's goody chat? As you guys are joining in inside the live session. Uh let me know if you guys can hear me. Make sure you guys can see my screen before we get started. I started a little late just because I was in a meeting. But yeah, we'll definitely get started right now. I was kind of like everyone's kind of gonna join in, and if they have any questions, they can just always ask inside the chat box. But let's get it. So with everything with BTC that's happening right now, I know some of you guys have taken some leverage opportunities, or you guys were waiting for some leverage opportunities for some sales. I'm still looking pretty much bearish on BTC at the moment. I know kind of having some spikes down. Took some sells Saturday going to yeah. So I took some sells Sunday going on to I think Saturday or Sunday, whatever. Yeah, I took some sells over here. I took some sells, yeah, basically around this area here. Took some profit along the way, and for good 2600 pips, give or take. So, as of now, I know we're getting some small bounce lead up to the Wednesday, candle, just because we're getting those small retracements midweek. Any areas as far as any good potential sells, I'm eyeing this area in here, for BTC, 2 hour. Yeah, this is kind of the area that I've been eyeing before we sold off. There's actually one of my next areas. Whenever Bitcoin was in here, I was looking for it to come back into the general area for themselves, but it ended up dropping even lower with this massive selling candle here, which is actually pretty crazy. Like just seeing this entire thing just drop 3,000 pips, over 3,000 pips, clearing out the liquidity that we've been looking at. Right, we actually cleared the lows, and now we're kind of getting that small little bounce up and trying to see if we can get anything in here to take some sells. So on the higher time frames, I would still want to see another move higher, maybe even potentially even somewhere in here. I would definitely want to see it come back into. Let's see here. If this area is not going to if BTC doesn't come back into this area here, I would want to see I would want to see it trade somewhere in here. Wrong tool. I want to see something trade in here for BTC. Um, if we don't, reach back up into these levels around 68. So, this is kind of like the next follow zone that I'll be looking for some kind of a distribution, or some kind of institutional play, for it to continue on setting off, for BTC. Let me see here. Weekly. Even on everything here, this is gonna be a interesting month. Either I definitely do see a nice little sell off happening before we actually pump. So everything still shows on the technical aspect on the macro time frame for just Bitcoin and Total One across the board. So any kind of continuation to the downside, I will be looking out for those. I'm not in any leverage ideas or anything. I'm just kind of just eyeing price action and seeing what kind of opportunities that crypto will present to us. I know we have. I'm kind of looking at this area in here for some possible sells, but you know, is not as like really definitive in my personal perspective. So I'm just kind of waiting, seeing what Bitcoin wants to do, and I'll just adjust from there. Yeah, I probably I'm not gonna be taking any trades yet. I'll probably definitely would check tomorrow and see if we can catch anything better. But I do see sales 100%, 100% sales, continuations to even of course just still take out the lows that we're all looking on each structure here for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. So all of you guys should be looking for potential sales. Probably in here. Probably see Ethereum come back into these levels. I will put a alert at 2046. I'm using Coinbase broker feed. So I'll be looking for some sells in that area for Ethereum. Honestly, that's kind of like the only chart I really like at the current moment compared to the other charts here. Yes, you have like little small candles here and there, in here, but yeah, I definitely do like ETH a lot more because you can definitely see the how it's still been mitigating out of these areas little by little. Take that out of the way. But you guys are seeing kind of what I'm seeing at the moment with ETH and the rest of the market on why I'm choosing this trade rather than the other ones. So if you guys are brand new into these calls, I always like to compare charts, seeing which one looks more visually attractive, which one actually shows actual, candles that we're looking for, these institutional candles that we're looking for these sells or buys. And I look across the board and seeing if we can find some kind of correlation between the two, which one looks a lot more noticeable, then I'll take those. If it doesn't look as noticeable, or if I don't really like the structure at all, then I will just, look at, I would ignore it for now. Will it give another opportunity for these kind of sells or the right play that we're looking for? Yes. It'll probably be on a smaller time frame, whether, I'm looking at, potential sells for ETH at this daily time frame. We may even see some kind of opportunities for sales on the small time frames for Bitcoin and Solana, whether it be on the hourlies or the minute time frames. It really just all depends on how we travel and trade into these areas as we start, giving that little small bounce for crypto. But yeah, for the most part, it's just total one. Yeah, so this is total one. I'm going to go ahead and condense this real quick. I see this. I see the liquidity there. Yeah, so everything kind of has just been moving to the downside. So there's nothing really definitive, but I will be looking at Solana. So I will be looking at Solana, and we can catch any possible sells. And something I've actually have been noticing is that we're like right there at BTC dominance. We finally cleared some liquidity for dominance. What does that mean? Whoa, I'm gonna go and close this. Once you start seeing the dominance go down for BTC, then you start seeing alts just, seeing a lot more money flowing in. But there can be a scenario of whether we do get this kind of play, whether we continue selling off, or let me see here, brush, or we just clear the liquidity here right? And we trade up higher, causing there's the market just to sell off, BTC sell off, and or alts to sell off, and that's what kind of really will bring this a lot more higher. Steve total one, extra P. I'll definitely look at alts. It's not gonna be a too long of a session just because I know we kind of started a little late. But if you guys have any questions or markups, definitely feel free to drop in the powerhouse chats, main chats, and I'll definitely will get to it here shortly. With AVAX, is still a great portfolio idea. I haven't really even looked for any good perpetual ideas just yet, depending on the leverage you guys are planning to use. But I would still want to see some more lows being created for the rest of the market. Yeah, I still want to see more lows um, get created in the rest of the market before anything. So I'm still on hold on perpetuals for swing trades on alts. You could definitely, of course, trade alts on leverage for any kind of selling opportunities. By all means, you guys are welcome to do that. Um I want to look at BNB real quick. I think that's something I was eyeing a while back. If we were to catch any kind of retracements, these are old markups and validated. Okay. Nothing in there. I think there was another one that I was looking at, Flycoin. Let me see, weekly Pyth, Solana, Filecoin. Let me look at ICP real quick. So it looks like Jupiter has stopped their airdrops, which is good. So everything should be able to kind of like stabilize. But first, I still want to see this liquidation candle get taken out. So the opportunity for that to happen will probably be whenever crypto will do another dip lower, causing everything just to shift in direction and clear those that liquidation candle. I know some coins have, I know some hasn't, and the rest has just been creating new lows. I know I've kind of told you guys exactly my overall game plan on with these coins reaching new lows. I'm just stacking the ones that look more have a bit more strength, or have a more better structure than the rest of the market. AVAX is one of them. Pyth, look at Pyth real quick. Pyth kind of like the only one that looks a lot more appealing on the bigger time frames, and actually has a pretty much the decent setup. Maybe I can see here. Yeah, I definitely do see these opportunities for a Pyth. Yeah. Hmm. If we continue to push higher, take this out the way. Yeah, if we do continue to push higher, then I will be considering taking some buys on Pyth. I'm kind of curious what's the leverage on Radium for this. Cool. Cancel perpetuals. So right now I'm kind of looking at the what's the max leverage for Pyth. I think it might be 10. Should be in here somewhere. I know I've seen it, if I'm not mistaken. ICP's on there, Google's on here. Crazy. Yeah, like I mean, I think you could pretty much trade like stocks, commodities in here. I think could have sworn we had it in here. I mean, I have Aave, LTC, Ton, unless I'm completely missing it. I know I've seen it somewhere. Chainlink, AVAX, Radium. Huh. Release listed, recent. I guess it didn't have it after all. Portfolio Libra, okay, no. Um, well, let me see if we can try to find it somewhere else. I'm gonna look at CoinGecko because I know I've seen it somewhere. I think it might be on another platform. So this kind of is where I will look at different pairs, seeing where they at when it comes to like being listed on perpetuals. Made it. Was good, Alex. Was good. Pyth. So right now I'm kind of looking at brokers or platforms where you can trade uh perpetuals with Pyth. Okay, markets. Let's see here, market coins. Yeah, it should be in markets. Okay, market networks, DEX, perpetuals. Where is it listed on? I'm looking. So Hyperliquid, yes. I'm looking at DEX. So yeah. So basically, SEX and DEX is centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. So if you guys didn't know that already, Drift. Okay, futures. So it's on Hyperliquid. So I think that's probably been the platform that I've seen it at. So this was the last 24 hours volume. What's lighter? That's new. So right now, lighter is bringing in almost a million in 24 hours volume. The spread, yeah, I'm stick to Hyperliquid. I personally haven't used Hyperliquid when it comes to trading. Um, so I know it does have more options to use as far as alts. I I think that, like the last time I think it has updated as far as how it looks. If not, then I probably am able to kind of navigate it where what's where. Okay, cool announcements. You know, even to even be able to have access to these platforms, you can use a VPN. Really, you just use a VPN, close out all the tabs, and you're able to have access to all of them. So perps, crypto, TradeFi, you can trade silver, nice, 20x, USA 500. So that's the S&P 500. Hyper, silver, copper, USDC, USDT. We got Pyth. So the 5x leverage. Hmm. Okay. Not really as appealing, just because of yeah, this probably is your best bet if you guys are wanting to trade it. Let me see if I can try to find. There was another platform. I'll probably need to look at it. That's on the Arbitrum network. But yeah, definitely we'll be looking at some more opportunities for Pyth. So let me see here. Tracks, Stacks, Caspa, XLM. Oops. Cool. So with the next setups there's happening with XLM, I do see this happening actually monthly. So with Jupiter, can you trade three? Yes, with Jupiter you can only trade three. But those are like the main three that I personally love trading the most. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Um, Aster. I think I know Binance has uh released that one. I haven't even touched Acer to be honest, but I would assume that I know their account already is notorious for manipulation. Out of all platforms, all exchanges, crypto exchanges, Binance has always been known for manipulation. So I never really dealt with Binance when it comes to like buying, selling, or use their services. Um, skip. So when it comes to like new decentralized platforms, they'll offer these pairs, um, but at a lower leverage. Pyth. Oh, never mind. Okay, we have 75x on Pyth. Nice. Okay. So Solana. Okay, I'll definitely be using this. Yeah, yeah, I was definitely seeing a lot of tweets, as far as like the whole crypto community, talking about how they were the cause of it, and like I know CZ was looking into it, or somewhere in that high level department was gonna like look into it, but they uh like they always say that, but they never do. Or there's like no really feedback on, okay, cool, you guys look into it, what you guys found. But for most part, I definitely do believe that for sure, 100%. It's definitely happened in the past, so I would not doubt manipulation on their end, especially when it comes to like maybe their employees doing something sketchy, which that's something that I do not doubt at all. Let me see here. I like it. I definitely do like the high leverage. It is that their charting is sucks. Like all of this looks very sloppy, very choppy compared to what we see on other broker feeds. It's very clean, very precise. Like there's no, candles are not skipping. So, uh, when it comes to market level with these kind of charts, I would just look at the main ones that have much more better uh chart readings. Yeah, like, yeah, you already know. Yeah, yeah, like you already know how he's always, carving up coins um on the BB chain. Like, you would definitely would see, uh millions of dollars of coin just spawn out of nowhere. Or billion dollar coin just spawn out of nowhere. Or even like small little pump and dumps with meme coins. Like they'll probably uh, someone from Binance will orchestrate it, and from there it'll start slowly start selling off, getting all that liquidity at the highs. People buying in, FOMO, and they start slowly dying off. An example, this kind of like I'll show you an example of one of them that I was actually able to take part in. So pretty much do believe that there you go. I do believe that this coin was definitely a insider, 100% on the BB chain. I think was this one. Yep, yep. I 100% agree. So there was actually the one that I actually took part in. See how just one candle just jumped from 4 million market cap to 4 million market cap to 120, and it just like slowly just started dying off. Like it has not recovered since. Will it recover? I don't think so. There's only about 39K in volume. Yeah, very, very weak. But I do believe this was orchestrated with somewhere within the Binance community or Binance team. So, but yeah, next thing that I want to look at is go back to BTC. So three Ethereum dominance, nice. So with basically with everything's happening with Ethereum slash BTC, I know we've been wanting for it to reverse, but as of now, like since we are in the 24th, probably don't really won't see as much this week as far as alts. But I'll definitely want to see what happens, on the brand new month, see what happens during March. Probably see some more exciting, maybe like towards the end of Q4. We'll probably see some kind of movements happening, any major movements happening from now until then. But now it's just been a slowly dry decline in just crypto across the board. So as far as the leverage, just make sure you guys are taking your profits. Make sure you guys are having your TP straight. Use low risk during these times because you will get stopped out if you um, don't, of course, put yourself as a break even. You will, price will come back into your entries if you're not careful. So that's why you just take profits along the way. So yeah, yeah, because only RWA. Yep, yep, you already got it. Yeah. So when it comes to like uh everything that's kind of happening during this kind of structure, you definitely will see prices coming back to close to our entries. So I would always just take profits along the way. Use those profits to scale in again at another price near your regular entry. So, but yeah, as far as any questions, I know I definitely wanted this to be a much more shorter session uh, for when that's here. But if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know inside the powerhouse chats. And as far as like any other main charts that we're looking at, I don't really see anything else that's looks as appealing, especially on leverage. I'm just kind of been on a standstill at the moment. I know it took some sales on the weekend, which surprisingly there was opportunities, but right now I'm just waiting to see what happens tomorrow or even on Friday. What's tomorrow? So Wednesday, probably the next couple of days, I'll see what's happening. Then probably Friday, I'll probably if I don't see anything, then I'm not gonna trade or even like try to interact. I will be looking at the charts and see if we can catch anything. But I'll definitely will let tomorrow and Thursday be a good um time frame for me to even look at the charts. You think BTU hits 30K? Okay, cool. I got you. Let me go back. So we'll hit 30K. Most likely not this cycle. Like yes, it is will cause massive amount of fear in the market. Honestly, everything would have to really just go to shit. If that were to happen. Um, what probably the only year that I'll probably see would probably be like in the 40s. mid 40s, high 40s. Worst case scenario. Because if you think about it, we are already down 50, currently 50%. Average is dropping lower, that's 54, 61%. Like that would probably be more reasonable. If we to come back into the COVID drops, that was a 60%. And if we look at these drops here, 40, 50%. So it's kind of range average around there, 50, 60% drops. So I don't really see it hitting 30K. If that were to happen, then you'll probably see honestly a reason if that were to happen, you'll probably see like war, maybe something with the tariffs. Um, what else? Banks failing, crypto exchange going down. What's another good reason? Yeah, it would have to be some kind of world political huge major news um that will cause that to just tank. So yeah. Was FGG or what FGG are more expected to trade 1 hour, 4 hour, or 15? It really depends on what kind of chart you're looking at. I know for me, for example, I don't really trade for value gaps, in my personal opinion. Um, but the rule of thumb that I always stick to is I always stick to the higher time frames. If you see the higher, like if you see that FTG on the higher time frames, stick to that, and you just notch your entries on the smaller time frames. If you can find one on the 15 to 5 to 1 hour, and if it's clear as day, then you go based off that. If the risk reward is there, take it. That's kind of the only reason why I'll kind of take these opportunities, in the first place. Let's see here. What's better to trade on a FTG? Those are good questions. So if you're really wanting to find better trades, it would have to mean like you would have to find your overall edge first, whichever one works best for you, and you were able to collect the data, enough data to show that article you're more able to see more of a better reaction, more better entries using order blocks or for value gaps, depending on the style of trade or the setup. If you can answer that question, then you probably already know exactly what areas you look for when it comes to taking trades. Because I definitely seen like many people use fair value gaps a lot of the time. I know there's different names, different terms out there, but I do understand the overall how to even trade off of those. So it's sitting with imbalances. If you love trading more with imbalances, and if you're to like if you're to use those on your setups, and if it all plays out according to your analysis and your training plan, then stick to it. Really. Hopefully that answers your question. Mandarin bag would be underwater. Yeah, yeah. It'll definitely be it wouldn't be a quick pain. It would definitely be a slow pain if we're to hit 30K. But Black Swan event. I have never really experienced a Black Swan event. I mean, I always hear people say like, "Oh, like we're gonna have a Black Swan event," but like, what is categorized as a Black Swan event? It would have to be like an aggressive selling candle to the downside, where everything's kind of just goes to shit. Which I mean, we haven't really experienced that. Not yet. I'm not gonna be against it, but we haven't really seen these massive selling events happen. It's always been like 30%, 20%. It may look bad on the smaller time frames, but on higher time frames, it's just been a correction. So um, Yeah, I feel like in forex regulars are more respected and he tradable in crypto is never really. Yeah, with crypto, it's I don't really see it being respected more. I mean, uh, if we're only talking about stake, like just only crypto, I don't really see it trading in those areas. It's always been order blocks. There's always been order blocks. Yeah, I definitely do trade different time frames. Yeah, I do like send out trade ideas that are on the 2 hour time frame, 45. Sometimes I'll get entries on the 3 minutes, the 1 minutes, 3 hours. It's always been like alternating. If I can see the order block clear as day, and a nice little sweep of liquidity, then I'll take those. Those always been uh my bread and butter when it comes to trading crypto. Yes, FGDs are imbalances. What's good, Daniel? I miss you too, bro. But yeah, like they're both the same. I know there's always been different terms out there. But when it comes to like forex, there's always forex has a different personality as crypto and how they move. But as for like all the technical analysis, it really just all remains the same. It's just how you interpret them on the charts, whether you see something different that I don't see, which is very very likely. Like just from like my style of trading is could be different from yours from how you trade forex. You of course build some kind of data that you have with forex and try to look at crypto and trying to like build on top of that, so we don't really see much correlation or don't really see as much of a better higher probability with those areas getting rejected or for like for imbalances being used. But it just it's always been going back and just building data and seeing what works and which analysis works best for you when it comes to trading into transitioning from like forex into like crypto. But that's good solid question. With forex, it always goes for liquidity, but BT just leaves it there and never sweeps it until a long term. Yes, yes, I'm glad you've noticed that. Not a lot of people do. Not a lot of people do actually notice that. But yeah, like you're pretty much spot on with that question. Yeah, with BTC, it'll definitely will leave it behind. Just because if you're thinking more on a investor standpoint, because this is a new asset class. With forex, it's been around for years, right? But when you're looking at what's crypto at like in its core, that's when you have to really like look at uh, not really use it as your overall analysis, but you kind of really look at what it is crypto at its core. It is an investment platform, not platform, investment, um, transactional money, so it really just has to boil down to that. And when it comes to let me see here, the liquidity, it will sweep it, but it may take maybe a week, a month, a year from now, or even like years from now, but usually it will. But it is a growing asset class. All right, just keep that in mind. It is a growing asset class that is still projecting to, if ours even changes in a different scale, this this different viewpoint, it's been uptrending. And some of you guys might have even seen this particular charts. Yeah, some of you guys might have even seen this particular charts for Bitcoin, you know. So see here. Sometimes off they see me open, BTC messes up my trades. Yeah, so when it comes to like the openings of so when it comes to futures actually, I haven't really even looked at the CME charts, but when it comes to like CME gaps, yes, it does have some kind of a correlation where market just likes to fill those gaps in before anything. Not all of them, but there's definitely a possibility or even like a good. It's always been a good high possibility that they always come back to it. Not all the time, but is the possibility or the probability is there. See here. Sometimes it leaves a gap and goes and fills it up. Yep, I agree. Send chart on power chats. Thoughts on zone. Okay. If you're on the wrong side of the trade, you're fucked. Let me see. We got Austin. So we're looking at potential buys, price alerts. Yeah, like I'll definitely, I'm definitely looking at that area too as well. I know, I had mentioned it, that area I think on Saturday or Sunday. So, for possible sales, but yeah, I definitely will be looking at zone as we get closer if we do. But yeah, I definitely do agree. I agree 100%. It depends on how far it is. If it opens too wide, it doesn't really. But if it opens too close, it will get there. Yeah, you're spot on. Like if our team like just go back to it, I think I had it marked up. Let's see here. You see. Okay, so you guys can see how there's a CME gap around like 82, 80. That's just for sure gonna get hit. For sure gonna fill in. Weekly. See how they get filled in. Yeah, you have in here. But other than those, they always kind of get, I'll get the brush, the highlighter. Where's it at? They always get swept or filled in. They'll get filled in. They always get filled in right there. I could go on. There's right here. But you definitely do get the gist. Right here, right there. But yeah, I definitely understand like where you're coming from, 100%. Maybe we may not even come back into here, but we'll see. Let's see some of the chat. Looking at sales, yes, yeah, I'm definitely looking at sales as well. But yeah, but other than that, that will be it for tonight's session. Hope you guys are um tuning in inside the chats. I know there will be a announcement coming up soon, so make sure you guys are attentive because I'll have the chats not muted, but yeah, there will be some news being dropped. Can't say what just yet, but you do not want to miss it because if not, you will be confused. So, without further ado, hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful night, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's get it.